What's up, everyone? And this is Next Level Thinking. What's up, everyone? We're here for another exciting episode of Next Level Thinking. It's your host, Chris Holmes, as always, bringing you inspirational guests to help you take it to the next level. And of course, I got to go down this list. We have Miss Houston Galaxy from the Bay Area, Harris County, Miss Austin area in the 2004. I mean, I'm like going down the list. I'm losing track. Like, what else I got to go? I'm like, Masters in the visual arts and much more. I mean, this girl's already time. I'm getting confused looking at my writing, but I'm Chris Song, but I have my guest by the name of
Alicia Venzant.
Awesome. So let's start with some groundwork and you tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Alicia Venzant. I'm a proud Houston native. I mostly identify as being a serial entrepreneur. I started off as a dancer at the High School for the Performing and Visual Arts here in Houston, and I continued my training at the University of Houston in dancing. Got my bachelor's in public relations, and most recently, I completed the master's program at the University of Houston downtown with a 4.0 in entrepreneurship.
So you know what that means. This girl is highly intelligent, creative, artistic, and so much more. So whatever you have your mind to, you can accomplish it. So let's start the roots. Like tell us in the audience a little bit like how things start. Like tell us about your come up and much more and where you're from, so they can be like, oh, that's she from my hometown.
Well, I'm actually from Houston, Texas. I grew up on the north side of Houston. And I actually moved to Harlem, Clark, Texas, where I was zoned to Madison High School. The great thing about growing up in Harlem, Clark, Texas, is that I was able to get a lot of the support from my classmates and my family. My grandparents were very instrumental in my upbringing. So they found it prudent to put me in dance and being someone who loves to show a part of themselves through dance, I was able to dance my way through my pageantry. That's how I was able to become Miss Austin, America, Miss Harris County, Miss Bay Area,
Wait.
USA.
You can't just go over that. We gotta like get all the details of that. So, like, what you mean by dance your way into the past? Like, you gotta tell us the story now. Like, hold
Okay,
on now.
okay. So after high school, I wanted to find a way to showcase my talent. I can dance better than I can walk. So I use my talent as a dancer to perform in the pageants. And when I competed in pageants, it was an opportunity to show the judges how multi-talented I was. Not only could I excel at school, but I was a fantastic dancer. So I was able to get scholarship money in pageantry by just showing my talent, which is dance.
And and I'm glad you brought that up because I want to put emphasis and to kind of throw you an alley oop on this, the importance of having confidence within yourself. Because I know with a lot of times we have social media, you see TV advertising, magazines, and much more of like having to have a certain kind of look, or you have to look this type of way, body size, and much more. So tell the audience, of course, some little girl watching, of like the importance of believing that I can do this too, and to believe in yourself.
Well, I believe that self love and confidence are the cornerstone of finding your purpose because you have to be grounded in who you are and in your faith to become all that God created you to be. So it starts with self love and self acceptance that despite your body size, despite your race, despite your socioeconomic factors, that you can go on to dream big and actually make those dreams come true. But in order to do that, you have to be confident. It starts with yourself.
All right, so let's go ahead and let the church raise up. We're gonna go ahead and start raising donations. We're gonna start with 25 right here, That's a word up for today. But I definitely agree with that. You have to have self love, and it not just applies to women but men as well. You have to believe and love yourself, because just imagine if you wake up and look into the mirror and you tell all or just think of these like negative thoughts, and you're constantly telling yourself these negative thoughts, and then whatever you put in yourself, you are going to outburst. So why not put the more positive things within yourself, telling that I am beautiful, I am intelligent, I am powerful, and all that much more, because it just makes you get more motivated to do even more. And then on top of that, it's contagious. You encourage other people to overcome obstacles. I see over here smiling. You want to say something else? Go ahead.
I love your affirmations. I love your affirmations. And it starts with what Chris is saying, believing in yourself. There are moments when I didn't feel like I believed in myself because I was different when I competed in pageants and the girls who were on the stage. I would be probably the only black girl competing in these pageants, to where I would go on and to win the first black Miss Bay Area USA because the times I didn't feel like I was good enough, I would get in the mirror and say, "You are beautiful. You are worthy. You are intelligent." So I spoke life into myself in times when I didn't feel like I was beautiful and worthy. So just hearing you speak these affirmations, I feel like you don't need me to be on your show telling you anything, sir. But hey, I love it.
And tell us more of like the journey. Like, what were some of the tasks and like the things you did in the competition? So, like anyone else that's like motivated to pursue this kind of purpose or goal, that they can be knowledgeable.
Well, I use pageants as a personal development tool. I didn't really have the most confidence when I started in public speaking. I wanted to be able to express myself in front of a group of people. I was comfortable dancing, but I wasn't comfortable speaking. So I took it as an opportunity to learn public speaking, to know how to interview and, and interview and do well in interview. Because not only are you interviewing for pageants, you are interviewing for job interviews, colleges, and you want to present the best version of yourself. Pageants taught me discipline. I had to get up and go work out at 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to be on a strict diet.
5 o'clock in the morning.
5 a.m., before Jesus gets up himself. But if that's what you have to do to put in the work to become the best at what you want and to make your dreams come true, you have to put in the work, period. So if I
And I
had
want
to
to
get up at 5, I got up at 5.
and I want to throw you another alley oop when it comes down to that. Is like a lot of people want, I say, like the big glory, money, or accomplishments without getting punched in the face by life, without having to go through the heartaches, without taking the losses and much more. And I want you to tell them, like, if you want these things, you're going to have to triumph over it. You have to overcome. If anything, I feel like that becomes a motivational story and you appreciate so much more. But enough what I'm saying. Like, what can you tell the audience with that?
Okay. Well, what Chris is kind of referring to is that I went from being on the tops of the stages to having won pageants and everything to getting diagnosed with a degenerative eye condition. I have a degenerative eye condition called keratoconus. I'm a legally blind person. And not only did I have to grapple with losing my eyesight, I had to grapple with losing $100,000, the death of my baby, and domestic violence and sexual assault. Um, because I was in the spotlight, I was made a target. I was targeted by my ex-boyfriend, and he stole a lot of money from me. I didn't get help and justice from the police, and so um, to get through that, I really leaned into my faith because it was God who sustained me through all of my losses. And not only that, I used my faith, but I used my voice. I realized how important my voice was because not only was I suffering through something that's pretty common, People suffer from the loss of their children. People suffer from the loss of finances, loss of jobs, loss of people that they care about. But it was my faith and my confidence in myself and my ability to know that if it was taken away from me, I can always get it back.
Very true. Yes, indeed. I want to put more onto this, and I feel like this needs to be put into more awareness of how you push through. And I don't want to say overcome because I feel like it's a lifetime thing, especially when you like lose a child. I mean,
Hmm.
you can never just get over that. That's like something because that was your baby. So, what would you tell other parents, mothers to encourage those who have probably lost a child to keep going? Because I feel like that's something that needs to be put even more attention to, like some of these other things going on.
I think the grieving process is something that is an ongoing thing. When they say the 7 stages of grief that you go through them at different moments, that I experience anger, I experience all of the emotions of the loss, but having a strong support system, having a creative outlet was important for me. I literally danced my way through the tough moments. Um, I try to distract myself. And sometimes there's no other way to deal with the pain except to feel the pain. You have to feel it. You have to go through it. You have to cry about it. But to know that, hey, you're going to get through it was a big plus for me. Knowing that I'm not by myself, knowing that there are people that you can call who've been through situations like this, that if you're struggling, you're not struggling alone.
And I'm glad you, especially when you put on "You're Not Struggling Alone," because so many other people are having this similar journey and overcoming. And of course, you can pray and much more. And it comes to the internal strength, spiritual strength, and all these things help you keep walking through and to develop in this encouraging story to inspire others to keep walking with a smile on the face. And that's what it's all about. But you also hit on another thing that's important too. I want to hit highlight on is domestic violence, and it's been a minute since I read this. Of course, I know the statistics probably change
Hmm.
nowadays, but I think I read among. I think when it came to violence or like crime rates, domestic violence was one of the highest things when it came to like crimes. And I want you to tell your story and then some of the things to look out to so that other people can see the warning sign and be able to reach out for help or just kind of know what to do to try to prevent before it happens.
Well, I was in love with this guy, this man, for about 4 or 5 years. And domestic violence is one of those taboo things that nobody really wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about, the fact that the man that I love just yelled at me for hours because I didn't call him on time, or being slapped in the face when you're pregnant by the man that you love, or being sexually assaulted by the person you're in a relationship with. One of the things that I discovered through my situation was the lack of help that I got from the Houston Police Department and the district attorney's office. That despite me taking pictures of my bruises, me documenting uh, all of the clearly abuses, and I even submitted a videotape of my ex boyfriend slash abuser choking me from behind during sex without my consent. And the DA decides to not press charges in all of my cases, even when I had submitted bank statements of him stealing almost $100,000 from me. There's no support in our judicial system for Black women. That's what I found. Um, some of the signs that 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 were there that I kind of overlooked were controlling behavior, where you, who you with, what you doing, what you have on, etc. Physical violence. It started off where he would get violent with me during sex. So it looked like it appeared that I was enjoyed rough sex, when in actuality I wasn't consenting to being hurt while I was being intimate with my partner. And that escalated to being slapped in the face, being choked, and a lot of different other insidious abuses that the police tell you document this. They tell you to take pictures. I took pictures of bruises. I took pictures. I've documented. I let someone know. They tell you to have a safety plan, um, because sometimes you're powerless. I'm 5'4". My ex was 5'11". He's bigger than me. There's only so much that I can do, but not to get the support from the people who are supposed to protect and serve me has been absolutely devastating. Um, there are hotlines that are available to people who are suffering from domestic violence, and I think that the hotline should be something that should be available to people who are suffering from domestic violence.
So one thing I want to ask: do you feel like them ignoring some of the things that you provided has something to do with the stereotypes of like what I wouldn't say everybody has view, but I'll just say like the stereotype that you see like a black couple or like any kind of when it comes up in a relationship that it's normal to see arguments or violence and it's oh that's just a normal thing at home y'all just get it handle it there it's not too serious for us where we have to step in. Do you feel like that has something to do with it too?
Well, in my particular situation, it's different because James knows people in the DA's office. James Patrick Ryan is a white man, and I'm a black woman. And to say that racism doesn't exist, I'll be lying. I feel that because of my race, nobody's listening. Because I'm a black woman making accusations against this white man, nobody's listening to me. When you hear of, let's just take the reverse of it, Emmett Till, you know, a white woman made accusations that he clearly didn't do. What they do, he's dead. But I'm a black woman making accusations against this white man, and my story is not believed. But even when I provide evidence, you know, they are not taking my situation seriously. I think the lines are blurred. You do have a point there. Um, is that okay? If this is your boyfriend or husband, how can it be rape? Does that make sense? It's different if a stranger sexually assaults you, but this is your baby's daddy. This is your lover. How can it be rape? And if it's somebody you love. So I do think that there's you brought up a good point with because it's a personal thing. You need to kind of keep it. That's something we don't talk about. That's something you need to fix in your home. That's something we don't talk about publicly.
Yeah, because like there's so many different ways the world kind of views different things, and I would definitely say it's not always fair because just because this person can be close or like you were saying, like it it makes people think like, oh, it's at home. We don't
Yeah,
have to step in. And
yeah,
then when you can have blankly evidence and much more, it's like, well, that's not something that I'm going to dive in. Like, call us back later. And
yeah,
that just brings even a more point that everybody's voice needs to be heard. And even if it's close at home, if wrong is wrong.
yeah. Correct, correct.
And I think we have to get to that point.
I agree. I think that if anybody was looking at my situation, they see I've been clearly victimized. That's not something that's up for debate. But where is the what's the threshold for law enforcement to step in and say, "Hey, she's had enough." He's clearly, she's went through the process at least 3 times to get protective orders. She's clearly still been victimized. I'm still communicating on hack phones and devices, and this man is clearly not out of my life yet. So, will it take for my dead body to pop up before police decides to step in? So, where will it take to get the police's attention? Do I have to have a gunshot wound? Should I be stabbed? Like what's the level for them to come in and help me? I have no idea.
So, with all this experience and much more, what are you doing now to use this pain to keep you going or just to even move forward? Because I see that you have a very brilliant mind, and a lot of times when people go through, you know, tragic or just any kind of like suffering, it really sparks something else.
I actually started writing about my process last November in a book called A Romantic Trauma. And I reached out to a good friend that I've been knowing for 20 years who's actually turning the synopsis to my book into a film. And when I say that that is a prime example of how you stay motivated, you stay inspired, because just because I didn't get justice with the police, I get a different kind of justice. I get to share my story in a film. I get to share my story in a book to where it will reach millions of people. And if I could give a cautionary tale of domestic violence and systemic abuse, um, I'm happy to do that. I believe that I found my purpose through my pain. And I know my pain is not for me, it's for other people. Because I had to question God in the midst of our situation. Like, God, like, I'm a blind woman. I'm a giver. Like, how are you allowing this to happen to me?
I want to put emphasis on that because I feel like this. I feel like it's for everybody when you're going through things. You have that moment like, why me? Like
Yeah,
I feel like I've done everything right. Like why am I going through this? And
yeah,
we all have that moment. Like regardless if you want to admit it or not. Unlike me, everybody who's watching this in the future is going to have that moment where you're like, I've done everything right. Why is everything not happening like I wanted to? Like why am I still in this storm? And
hmm,
I feel like it's just to build you for something even better. And what I'm getting to is I feel like what you've gone through is going to present you with more opportunities to step uh, to stages, to speak in front of more women, to everybody, and much more to bring more awareness to this. And that's really how it's about. Is you see someone who goes through something and it just skyrockets them to success. Because I feel like it's like the old quote, like the artist who suffers the most usually writes or speaks
yeah.
the best.
I agree. Because as a dancer, what we do is we transmute pain. If you're not hurting, if you're not hurting, you ain't doing it right. So pain produced purpose in my life. I'm like, God, why you let this happen to me? But then I said, why not me? Why not me? If anybody is called for a moment in time to do this, it's me. And that's what I had to learn through this process is that my pain ain't for me. Yeah, that's it.
She
That's
just
it.
over there dropping mics. I got to replace the other one. I got to get insurance on all these mics and much more. All my guests is dropping mics and breaking them. Ah. I mean, and you graced so many solid points. It kind of reminds me of the biblical story. Like I could just imagine, like David versus Goliath. David could have stood there in this arena and be like, "Really, really, you got me going against it. You see how small I
I said, damn. I thought I don't even have a bank account anymore. But guess what? Because I've been faithful, because God told me to make my YouTube videos, present my evidence on YouTube, to make my videos, to speak about my pain. He said, I'm going to reward you. And He rewarded me with the film opportunity. He rewarded me because I was diligent and because even though I was scared as hell to get out and tell my story, I realized that there was power in my voice. If they took away everything, y'all, they took away everything. They took away my money. They took away they stole all of my possessions, stuff that my grandmother gave me for before she passed. And I had to realize quick is that your happiness is not in things; it's an inside job.
Hey, man, I'm about to fall over. Wait, you got to repeat. Oh, wait, you gonna have to repeat that again. I think a lot of people need to hear that. Your happiness is wait. Your happiness is not in things.
It's
It's an
not in
internal.
things; it's an inside job. Your happiness is an inside job that they can take away everything they did, but I found joy and I still have joy in my heart. That's something that they can't take. And people have to realize quick. I had to realize quick that wait a minute, you know, you cannot love material things more than you love purpose. That was that was a big learning experience for me. And relationships that you need people. We are meant to be social creatures. So when people are isolated and going through things alone, compounds the problem. So being able to let everybody know, hey, despite your situation, if you know you're not by yourself, you know, you are ahead of the competition.
Oof. Got quotes after quotes after quotes after quotes. You better take a little snippets about for this. So, as we coming to a close, what's some other things you want to tell the audience that you're working on? I know you had the film, the book, anything else?
Um, right now, I don't have anything that I'm working on other than that. I'm working on actually just trying to get my life back, trying to get James and his people, my ex, out of my life so that I can go on to get to my stocks. I believe that as a Black woman in finance, financial literacy is very important. So I want to do what I can to bring financial literacy to people of color. Stocks, bonds, securities, how important it is to set up a brokerage account. I think that'll be my next goal, just besides um, what I'm personally doing. That'll be my way to give back, just free game on investments. And also, would love to collaborate on a shoot with you, you know, if that's something that we can do. So,
Well, it looks like I just got another project to work on in the future
yes,
while trying to look on Forbes like this. Yeah, we definitely got to have more African American people, and then anybody else that you help get on the Forbes list because anything is possible. It all comes
mhm.
down to the mind. So as we, I know we said this before, it's come to close. Like we said that, but tell the audience where they can find you.
Find me on MBA, VENZANT, MBA. That's my Instagram. And I will post all of my updates on Instagram or find me on Facebook at Alicia Venzant.
Awesome, busting my mic again. It's all right. It's all cool. We got some in the back. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. This will be posted in the future on YouTube. We're gonna put on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and much more, and all those kind of platforms, so you can either watch it or visually hear it as you work out, do the cooking thing, or walk the runway, and all that, and much more. We're gonna make sure you get all this great information and value, keep you inspired, because that's what it's all about: inspiring people to take it to the next level, so you can be greatness. Everything starts with the mind, not your physical or where you started from. You dictate where you become in your journey. So why not write a whole nother chapter in your story? So I'm gonna end it with that. All right, y'all. We are out in peace.